to Creative Tuesdays with Liz. I'm Liz. I'm really glad to be back again this week, and I hope everyone enjoyed last week's project of the Sharpie tie-dye. And if it was something that you wore, you were able to wear it out and just share with others that, hey, this is something that I made, and that you were just able to feel a little bit good about that and everything. So today we are going to be creating glue and chalk drawings. So we will have you're going to start with a black piece of construction paper. You're going to need to draw your design out with pencil and then trace it with your glue bottle, some liquid glue from a glue bottle, and let that dry. Now, I know I mentioned last week you might want to already have this done, and if you do, great, you can just keep on, we'll continue through. If not, and you want to pause the video after you get your glue drawing done and wait and then replay it when it's dry, that's fine. Or you can just watch all the way through and kind of figure out what you need to do, and then so that you can get started when your project is dry. So we will start with, we're going to draw our design in pencil on black construction paper. I'm not sure if you can see any of the pencil marks. I started to outline it some in the glue. So this project is really good for a lot of things. It helps to develop your fine motor skills so that you can, button a coat, zip a jacket, pants, you can work a key, you can turn a little volume control knob down on the radio or TV. So this project is really good for that, our fine motor skills. And also it is good for patience. So because you will have to wait for the glue to dry, so before you can continue, because the dried glue creates kind of like a fence for it, and if you didn't wait for it to dry, you just would have glue and chalk and everything all over the place. But so it does help with that, and also it's good for hand-eye coordination, because you need to use your eye to guide your hand. Your eyes will guide your hand and tell your hand where to squeeze the glue, and you'll figure out how hard or how light you need to squeeze the glue bottle to get the desired glue line that you want and everything. So it would be a good idea to have a good variety of lines, maybe some curvy ones and some straight ones, some fat lines and some thin lines. So you're going to, if you haven't done this already, you're going to do your drawing on your black construction paper. It can be anything. This is some leaves. I did a chicken I was going to start on. Just some other shapes. And I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but the glue, when it dries, it kind of looks like just a black plastic piping or coating drawing. So you can definitely feel it on here if you can't see it too well. But so just some different shapes. This is a flower to do. I'm working on doing the glue lines on it. So any type of design you want to do, lines, shapes, an animal, a heart, your name, anything. So like I said, you'll learn how hard and how easy you need to squeeze. If you do accidentally get off your pencil line a little bit, it is okay. Just kind of connect it somewhere and then pick back up, and you can continue on. You wouldn't even be able to know that you got off the line that you drew. So I just want you to trace all of your lines in your glue. And like I said, you might want to do a little heavier or double squeeze if you want to get out a thicker line. So here's a really thick line here. You can see the difference. It's not any, like, I didn't squeeze any more glue. I just kind of spread it out so that it would be a little bit thicker. So you'll have a good variety of lines. Now when you finish tracing your drawing in glue, you're going to need to put your paper up somewhere where it will not be disturbed. So it won't nothing will fall onto it and stick to it, or your paper won't fall over and get glue on anything. You're going to just want to put this up somewhere, like if you have a shelf that's up high, you can put it up there and for it to dry, and it will take a few hours for it to dry, possibly a full day or overnight. But so you'll want to put it somewhere where it can be undisturbed and dry completely. You'll need to make sure that you do have something down to protect your surface. I didn't mention that at first with the glue drawing. Especially it's important when you get ready to move on to pastels, because the pastels, the chalk does create kind of a dust that will kind of blow and get on things. So you're going to want to protect your surface from that. But when your glue drawing is dry, you are going to just start to color in certain areas. So you've got, I did a chicken here. So you can start to just color in different areas. This glue is like a fence. Like I said, it kind of works like a fence to separate your colors and keep them separate. Now when you color with your pastels, you probably will, you're going to want to color as close to the glue line as possible. And you're more than likely going to color and get pastel and chalk on top of your glue line. That's okay. We can clean that up when we're finished and it will be just fine, because the chalk pastel does not stick to the glue. It wipes off very easily just to kind of clean it. You'll want to have some paper towels laying around, because when you do pick up one color and start to color with it, you will have that color chalk on your hands. And then if you don't wipe your hands off before you pick up another color, you might get some fingerprints and marks and colors otherwhere on your paper that you don't want to. But if you do, that's fine. That's no big deal. We can work with that. It will wipe off too as well. So you can start to color in. You can layer your colors. You can color some with chalk. You'll notice while you color, it does create some dust that comes off of your chalk or your pastel, whichever you're using. So whenever you do finish with a color, you see that yellow dust kind of falling? And you'll have your protective surface. So you'll just bump it off and let that fall. And it looks a little dusty down there, and you can wipe that off. And then when you color on the top of it with another color, it will be just fine. And to layer your colors, you can color on top of colors and everything like that. So I've got some yellow here, and I'm going to take my orange and just color a little bit on top of the yellow, and then also in a new area, so that when we get ready to blend our colors, if you choose to blend them, they'll kind of look more natural like that. And when you blend your chalk pastels, you can use things like a paper towel, a Q-tip, your finger. I like to use my finger better than a Q-tip or anything else, but you might feel you might get a more precise line area. You can do smaller areas with the Q-tip maybe than you could with your finger, you feel like. So again, we'll just kind of bump that off and everything. So you'll just kind of keep on coloring and layering your colors. I'm going to do this part in the actual chicken body part with some warm and lighter colors. Warm colors like red, orange, and yellow, and this beige color, some white. And then I'm going to do the background with some cool colors like blue, purple, green, and everything. So just kind of dust off your chalk there. You can wipe your fingers clean and keep on working. So you'll color that in. Like I said, get as close to your glue line as you can. So that works kind of better. And like I said, I'll show you how to clean up your lines afterwards when you're finished. Now, you do not have to blend and rub your colors together, but just to kind of show you a difference here. Like you can see a little bit of the black construction paper kind of showing beneath the colors on the chicken tail here. And then when you blend it and rub it in, it just kind of gives your paper a better coverage, your black construction paper. All those little fibers kind of get covered up, and then you don't see all the paper underneath it. So you'll start to blend it and rub that in together where I did my orange on top of the yellow. And just kind of see how that gives that it covers the paper just a little bit better than it did. You don't really see the black shining underneath it. So you'll just rub your whole thing. Like I said, if you would rather use a Q-tip or something, you can. And see how I got outside that line a little bit? That's all right. We can wipe that up, clean that up as much as you can. And then when you get ready to do your other color on top of it, you won't be able to tell that you got out of the lines any. So you'll have this. It just depends on what kind of look you want it to have. You can have it, like I said, more coverage and smoothed in. If you blend it by like rubbing it all together with your finger, you're kind of rubbing the dust into the fibers of the paper, like I said, which kind of gives it that better coverage for you to have there. So my chicken's in these warm colors and light colors. I didn't do his feet down here. So your chicken's in those colors. We're bumping off the extra there. And then I'll get, you can do lines in your background. You don't have to have a background if you don't want to. Then you can just start to color the whole area if you wanted to. Just have a big, I'll do my whole background just green and blue. And in bigger, larger areas, you'll be able to tell the difference more between your blended coloring and then just coloring without blending your colors together and rubbing it into the paper. So we'll just kind of work on that. And I'll put some blue in here with it. Color on. And yeah, especially when you're using the pastels, you can try to color with them different ways. You can color with them like that. You can lay it on the side. Lay it on the side. I'll do it over here so you can see the texture that it makes. And it just kind of creates a different texture on there if you want to. But you'll want to protect your surface underneath, like I said, because you'll get chalk and colors everywhere, and your parents or your mom or grandma or somebody might not want you to get it on the furniture or anything. So it's a good idea to work at a table and then just protect your surface underneath there with something. So color it and just enjoy it. I really want you to have fun with this, and you can experiment what it's like to work with the chalk pastels, and then you can start to create more things, and you can figure out which techniques you like best and the ways that you like to use them. So see, we'll start to do that, and I'll show you so you can see all the black paper underneath. And then when you start to just rub it together, like I said, it works by, it's just you're taking your finger and rubbing in all that excess chalk into the fibers of the paper. And so you can see a big difference between here and here. So now when you're finished and your drawing is completely finished, you can kind of go back and clean up your lines, your glue lines a little. So you can get, again, a Q-tip, or you can use your finger. You're really going to want to make sure that it's clean in between kind of wipes with your finger. So you'll just kind of go and wipe your finger, rub it all along the glue lines. See how that kind of cleaned that up right there? Especially, I'm not sure if you can see very well, but it's kind of messy. I got a little bit of chalk on the glue lines there. And then you'll just take your finger, rub it along all the glue lines just to kind of clean that off, and you've kind of got more of a clear black outline around it with your glue. So I hope that you have had fun with this today, please take a picture of your drawings and post it on social media to us, tag us in it, the Lancaster County Council of the Arts, and so that we can see that. I really look forward to seeing everybody's creations. Miss Pat, I'm still waiting for you to post a picture of your tie-dye. I'd really love to see that. So I hope to really be able to see some different works done, and I hope you've just enjoyed this and just kind of experimented with it and figured out what you like. Next week we can come together and create an ice cream cone. So you will need different colored pieces of construction paper, especially a brown. Make sure you've got a brown in there for your cone. I'll have some templates drawn for you for the ice cream scoops. You might want to have glue, glitter. You will need glue and scissors so you can cut your stuff out. You can use glitter, you can use buttons. I use some washi tape to give it a border. You can put it all on a large paper, a small one like this. I'll have, like, on the template, you can do 1, 2, or 3 scoops, however many scoops of ice cream you want to have on there. You can have that many scoops of ice cream on there. So you'll have your coloring utensils and then just any kind of other little decorative items that you might want to add to it. Some extra scrap paper that you've saved. You can make some sprinkles, a cherry for the top of your ice cream cone. But so I think that will just turn out really cool. So you can just gather as many supplies, craft supplies, art supplies as you have, and we can come together next week as we create our ice cream cone. So thank you so much. I'm really glad you were here today, and I hope you have a good one. See you next time.